What's up, guys? Welcome.
We're doing good.
We are Scotch.
We're doing damn good. We're doing real good.
We are excited tonight. We've been waiting.
We're finally getting to this bottle.
Sean's excited. We've had bottles in the bar that haven't been open for a while. This is one of them. We finally get to crack it open.
As far as you guys know, I might have just been pouring colored water back in those bottles.
You better not.
I'll tell you, we're gonna know. We've had a few nips of it. But,
I haven't. I go out of town.
Well,
they
you're
get
an
the good
unbiased
stuff.
opinion.
I got an unbiased opinion.
Don't go out of
this
town.
one came back all the way from Scotland. We brought it back on our trip recently. We got this one at Cadenheads, I believe, right?
Purchased at Cadenheads in Edinburgh.
Yeah, Edinburgh. So this is a Longrow 18. Let's see, it was established in 1973. It's double distilled, aged in ex-bourbon and sherry.
1973?
1973.
Longrow?
Mm-hmm. Actually, Springbank is the distillery. They were founded in 1828.
There we go. That's what I need.
So that's the
Longrow they do
Longrow came in, right.
There's one other label out of that distillery too, isn't there?
There's one more, I can't think of it right now.
There's Springbank, Longrow, and there's one other.
But they're out of Campbeltown.
Yep.
Right, down there. Yep. So this is the only peated on the island, basically. They got to the point where they wanted to have something other than Isla and make it peated, and this is what they came up with, Longrow 18.
Longrow.
They have a 10, they have a 14, and they have an 18-year Scotch.
46%.
Right?
All right.
Limited edition.
Around 100, 185 bucks, I think.
Woo. Matured in oak, distilled, and bottled in Scotland.
So you know the funny thing about this is we were at Vine Table the other night, and yeah, we got a Longrow 18, and Dennis was like, "Really?
Yeah.
He's never had one.
I've never heard
You
of that.
can't find them right now.
I've never heard of that Longrow 18.
If you find one, you
never
better
had it.
grab it. So we'll have to give him a little taste of this.
We'll
Give him a dram of that.
So we've been we've had these poured out now. So
Less than 100 casks are filled each year for this.
I think I read a
No
number
wonder it's hard to
somewhere
get.
like there was only 4,800 produced or something bottles.
Wow.
So,
Oh,
yeah, I think so.
All right,
so we
what's this
poured
thing
these
got?
about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We knew that this was a good bottle. And we wanted to give it some breathing room. So we want to
God,
definitely
is
have
that
some hair on
different?
this one.
That's dense.
What do you got?
I mean, it's peated, but it
Like
doesn't
you're out cutting
smell
the peat,
like,
man.
It doesn't smell like it came off the island to Iowa. That's
Holy
for sure.
moly!
That's the thing. It's got that earthy peat.
I smell wheelhouse.
That really nice. Yes, I think maybe you're right.
Ooh, this
But yeah, it's not the charcoaly
No.
peat. It doesn't have any iodine influence. There's no C in it.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's earth.
I got
It is
grassy
the-
peat.
yeah.
Yes.
There's heather on top of that.
It's like young peat.
Well, I mean, to me,
However
Isla
young
peat
peat.
sometimes is. I think of it more as that boggy, dense, wet peat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas this smells like it's got that like
It's got a
paint
damp-
quality to it. You know
damp
what I
feeling.
mean?
Yeah.
Like you're out in a meadow kind of thing. But
Well, it
but it's
says-
still got that earthy texture to it.
It says the malt is peat dried for up to 48 hours to give the whiskey a unique Campbeltown smile, smoky character. I wonder if that's different than the way they do things over on Isla, because I think it smells completely different.
Well,
than
they
than
do
Isla.
call it the dry. I guess I don't know if that's specific to them or not, but yeah, it's peated. The one thing I got in the nose too, guys, is apple. I mean, there's a lot of apple to this for me. Believe it or
You know,
not.
I am getting that too, just getting through the smoke. That's probably the advantage of us letting it sit for a little bit. It allows some of that really strong
The
peat.
crisp red apple.
It's got apple and pear,
Yeah, I can smell the pear.
and there's a nice like peppery quality to it. But it's also got that earth throughout it. You know what I mean? But it's not overpowering. It's not too heavy. It's just there.
And a hint of wood.
Honestly,
too.
it's almost like a dried apple to me. It's not like a fresh, like I'm biting
No.
into a fresh apple or a granny apple or
It's
sour
like if you
apple.
cut an apple, like a fresh, you cut it to slice it, and
But it's definitely there.
all right, let's taste this bad boy.
I got a number for me.
And
Ooh, wow.
What was this proof again?
46, which I'm happy about. I'm glad they didn't take this down to a 40.
I thought it'd be a little more, honestly, but
To be honest, it feels a little hot
for a 46.
for a peated. You know what I mean? Because usually that peat kind of.
Yeah, I'm not getting
You
the
don't
hot
get
on
the
it. I'm
alcohol.
getting-
there's no
getting-
heat for me.
Yeah, I'm getting a great balance on this. I hope the second sip is as good as the first.
It is.
And usually the second one's better.
It's really
But
good.
see, after that first sip, I get less smoke on the nose for sure, less peat.
So the story is, we were in
different.
Scotland, and we were in this Cadenhead, right? It's the oldest place, oldest.
Oldest oldest independent bottler in Scotland.
Thank you for that. And we were sitting there, we were trying different things, and you had one, we haven't done it yet, we're going to do that one later. And then we poured this one after one glass, and I'm like, I'm buying it.
He did not waste any time. He just pulled the trigger. Give me a bottle of that, right?
It was within 2 minutes, I wanted the bottle. And we sampled a few different ones. This is exactly how I remembered it. I'm like, we're taking that home because I knew you guys would enjoy this.
It's a cool liquor store too.
It's
I mean, you walk in, there's a big blackboard, chalkboard, and they're like, "This is what we got today." You know, and you're like, "Okay, I want some of that."
And you walk in, it's pretty cool. You walk in, and this Glencairn glass is just sitting upside down. You just walk in, you walk around. Oh, I'll take that one. Here, sample.
It's a
What?
small little place, but very, very cool. And I think we've got a winner out of it. I think you brought home a
I
good
think
one.
so
Yeah,
too.
that's
This is
a
good.
Dude,
bottle.
All right, Wheelhouse boy, you ready to start this?
Need some time? I haven't done water yet.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I almost don't want to put it on, but it needs.
So I mean, I will say, you know, I don't know what I paid for it in Europe at the time, but research says 185 on the web. I'm sure it's worth that. I don't think I paid that much for it, but even if it was $185, it's a lot of money for an 18.
It is a lot of money.
I'm not sure yet what we're going to say on this, but definitely keep that in the factor.
Oh.
You guys are silent.
I'll tell you what, this one is, it's got a lot of layers. I mean, you have to really, I mean, you can sit and just drink it and enjoy it, but if you're really trying to pick stuff out, you really got to think about it a little bit.
This is
you know
why
what I mean?
it's a serious moment for me.
All right, well
Th-
then
this may
then
be
Drew
the
kick
weight.
us off and let you go last. Let you round this out. You can bat fourth.
I can bet
Andrew's-
third. He
Andrew's-
started, so if you guys want to go, I'll
Okay. You want rock, paper, scissors
let's
for
rock,
it?
paper,
I'll take it.
Roche
man.
Rambonia?
I'll go. Roche. Not even. Oh, all right. This is an interesting peat dram for me because to me, honestly, it doesn't smell anything like an Isla peat. You smell peat in there, but it's different. It's green. It's grassy. There's apple and pear, definitely. You're absolutely right. There's some pepper going on in the background.
yeah.
A little hot in first drink. It's 46%. I'm not surprised by that. It's definitely not enough to knock you back and say, "Oh, I don't want any of that." It's easy to get past it. But then there's a lot of layers on it. The flavor layers are really good. And the peat is, to me, subtle on the palate. Really subtle. It's there. I keep going back. I haven't put water on this yet, and I'm gonna have to give this a judge. But I've gone back to it neat
Do you want to wait?
a few times, and it's maintained, and nothing's really changed. I'm curious to know what would happen if we would have just poured this right out of the bottle and took a good healthy whiff. It would have been, the peat would have been stronger. Because sometimes, you know, peat normally, you know,
It
evaporates
dissipates.
off, it dissipates, but it's there. I just think it's a really interesting bottle. 180 bucks, I don't know. We've paid more for less.
Well,
Right.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck between a 3 and a 3.5 on this because,
Take a sip of that right now
yeah.
before you get going on this one.
Alright, so.
Let's throw a 3 and a 3.5 without even having it with water on. Yeah, that's a pretty good number so far. I think you're going to realize that it stays the same.
Okay, it doesn't to me. I think the peat really dissipated off with the water. I
Oh.
lost a lot of the peat, but I got a lot more apple. I got a lot more apple and a little
Okay.
bit of pear in there, which is interesting. It's good. I'm gonna stay at 3 because it's a peated Scotch, and I wanted that peat to stay. Because I'm right on the verge of saying 3.5. This is good shit. I love this bottle. It's good. It's delicious. I'm gonna give it a 3 and sip on this, and if it comes back around, since I was late on getting water on it,
Fair enough.
I reserve the right to change that.
Sure.
Andrew?
all right.
Wheelhouse.
Well, this is. So if you had a wheelhouse and there was a center,
This is
this is
it.
it. So let me. When we first opened this bottle, we took just really small sips of it, and it was like, oh, you know, like within 2 minutes, you're like, I want that bottle.
Yep.
So we let it sit out today. We tasted it again. You got a little bit of that wet, fresh feel of peat with the fruit and the grass, and then the smoke building, and it just completely layers. And if you've seen any of our other reviews of scotches that layers, it's a 4.
Boom! Holy moly!
4 fingers, baby.
Rockabrand comes out of the gate slamming.
And let me tell you what.
That's a big slam.
It is a
Yeah,
big
it is.
slam. Because This has the balance that is just excellent. I mean, the light, bright fruit, sweet
Start charging.
in there, and then it rolls back into the peat, and so the peat rolls later, and you just sit there and you can just sit with it, and you can go for 10 minutes, 5 minutes between sips, and you have that peat just rolling through your palate. And then you take another sip, and you get that brightening up again. You get that apple and the pear and the light grass, and then the peat rolls back in, and it continues off. So if every sip, it bounces back and forth, and just because sometimes when you have too much smoke, too much peat in there, the next sips you don't get any of that lightness out of it, and this just keeps coming back and bouncing back and forth, and that's an exquisite bottle.
I think you better keep an eye on this bottle.
I know.
You need to take it home because I will.
At least he's honest.
I may take it with me. So I'm gonna give it 4 fingers, baby.
That's hard to follow.
This is one of the best balanced peated scotches I've ever had.
Wow.
Hot dang!
I did good.
Can you hear me now?
Outstanding.
So I don't know how to follow that actually.
You can go 2 to 5 if you want. This is my
You ain't
will.
going too far.
I'm not going too far.
He paid for it. So.
I knew what it was when I bought it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a 4 for me yet. I'm telling you, it's definitely a 3.5. I'm teetering up there actually after you said that because you made some good points there. I will say that it's not what you normally think a peated scotch is. To me, when I think of peated scotch, I'm thinking of Lagavulin. I'm thinking of Lefroy. And if you think of those, you know what those flavors are. You're going to get some iodine. You're going to get some other things that are incorporated into it, which kind of give it their distinct flavor, right? And that is what it is. I love them. They're great. This doesn't have any of those. It has a true Scotch sweet finish with peat, which is a little different, and it blends nicely. It doesn't have too much peat, doesn't have too much sweet. It's a nice mixture of both. It's a little oily, which I kind of like a little bit, and I think it has a nice spice to it. The pepper really balances well. I think I talked myself into a Stamen 3.5. I was close.
What more could it have?
So
I don't know.
I will have to say, Andrew, your review made me go back and reevaluate the scotch.
Okay.
Wow. Where are you coming in at, boss?
You were coming in lower.
So, no, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I actually wasn't. But your points about the complexity of the scotch and how it's balanced. I mean, I really. I debated, but here's my take on it. It was excellent neat. And we didn't sample it like straight out of the bottle. We just poured it and let it sit. So I don't have really a comparison for right out of the bottle. But from the sitting, everything was balanced, and the peat was a different style of peat. It wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't heavy. And you were right. It went back and forth. You could get the peat, but you also had a chance to get to those lighter, fruitier flavors, and it developed as you sipped on it. So I really liked that quality to this scotch. It didn't hold up as well with the water as I thought it would. I really thought that it would hold up a little better. Now that's not to say it's bad.
No, it's still excellent.
It brought out. I got a little bit of a lemony quality to it. I really did like the oiliness of the scotch. I got a little bit more of the malted characteristics, but the peat faded away, and that was
it didn't for me. That's weird.
that was part of
That's why I still love it.
the appeal to me. And at $180, and it's probably not easy to find.
It's
I
impossible.
don't think you can.
So
Well, when you've got Dennis Vine and Table asking us for a dram because he can't get it.
and I'm not dinging it for that. I mean, it's a hard to find scotch, and that is what it is. The price is what it is. It's a limited edition. But I'm going to give it a 3.5. I think it's definitely worthy of that. I debated about a 4. If it would have held up just a little bit better on the water, it would have earned it.
I'm
So,
with
All right.
you. Be back to,
I'm going to stay where I'm at.
yep.
I'm going to stay at 3.
wow, we're going to take away your title.
You know what? Look at the numbers. I'm still a Scotch
Scotch
whore,
whore,
man.
Well, I'm going to jump up on you this week.
So what do you guys think about this one? We normally gauge our numbers by the bottle price. Really, it's kind of the point of doing this. Obviously, it's hard to find. It's $185. I'm not sure it's fair to equate to our normal here, but I mean, it is pretty expensive. Is it worth that price? Would you go buy that for that price?
I think so, for a few reasons. Number one, it's very hard to get. It's limited edition.
Yep.
It's not out there in the masses. It's unique, and it's different. It is a different peated Scotch. You're not
Yep.
going to get other
It's a
peats
unique
like this.
peated Scotch. Yeah.
Right, it's different than any other peated Scotch I've had, and it's
I would put this
good.
in the same category, not in the same flavor profile, obviously, but like an Octomore. You know, it's a harder to find Scotch.
King Alexander,
it's a
same
unique
price.
Scotch. You're going to pay a premium for it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard
but
to
this
debate
is
those.
this is in
but
the same
yeah.
price point as King Alexander that
Yeah.
we've given 4 on.
Yep.
I have a hard time paying $180 for a bottle of anything, and that's just because of my cheap nature. That's
He is
nothing
cheap.
about that.
He's cheap.
But this is such a good bottle. I'm almost like it's so valuable you don't even want to drink it kind of
So I
thing. That's what
guess the
I'm- that's
point
what
we're
I'm
saying here, if you can find this bottle based on our liking for it and you've got the cash, get it.
Pull the trigger.
Dude, if you got disposable income to buy it, you need to
Or buy
taste
us
that.
the bottle if you don't like it. We'll drink it.
Now, spending a lot of money just to find it, and I don't know if it's.
I don't know if it's that worthy of
Right.
like hunting down and spending $250 or $300 on
No,
it.
it's not
but
that. But
if you can find it somewhere, I would definitely get it.
yeah.
I wish it were on my
All
bar
right.
at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Wet Horn, I got 3.5.
3.5,
3.5 average. This is one of our highest rated.
Pretty good one, guys.
I'm out.
It's very
Nice job.
good.
Remember to like, subscribe.
I
Peace
drank
out.
all
See you some
mine.
Thursdays.
You gave the lowest score.
It's good.
It is good.
Just because I gave it a 3 doesn't mean I don't like it.
See you guys.